Hey, how's life? How's the weather? How's your cow? So, after starting university, I've obviously noticed that it's very different to school. And it got me thinking about all the great things I did in my school life. Not. So today, I'll be taking you on a blast to the past. Primary school. So in Australia, we have primary school from grades 1 to 6, and then high school from 7 to 12. Primary is basically elementary, but cooler. Number 1, riding kangaroos to school. This is definitely a thing that every Australian kid does. That was a really lame joke, I apologise. Lunchtimes. Okay, so at lunchtimes us kids were thrown out into the wilderness and teachers would just hope we got along fine on our own, Lord of the Flies style. We preoccupied ourselves with a whole bunch of different games that were definitely safe. First, there were hand clap games. These were games we played basically anywhere. We were waiting in line for the teacher to let us in, while on the bus for excursions, while out on the playground. Hand clap games were just our go-to. There was coconut crack, tic-tac-toe, game of concentration, my Auntie Anna. There were hundreds of them and I can't remember them all. Then of course there were the whole massive group games with your entire grade at lunchtimes. We'd play different games with spies, ninjas, pirates, cats versus dogs. Actually, cats versus dogs was a really cool one because when I was in grade 1, our whole grade played cats versus dogs and we would take captives from the opposing teams and we had these epic bases. Okay, my team's base, we just had a bench while the cats got this epic fortress made of logs. Then there was the general tag, build up tiggy, gang up tiggy, bull rush, red rover, hide and seek, 44 home, stuck in the mud, and so on. My best friend in the world in grade 1 was a girl called Bee. I recently regained contact with her actually for the 7th time or something, after on and off letters, emails and all that fun stuff. She's a lot cooler than me. For some reason people made fun of her and some guy that I'll just call C. And they'd sing B and C sitting in a tree, K-I-J-K-L-M-N-P. I think that's how it went. Then there was that fun rule we had, no hat, no play, no school today. Did you guys have hat rules at your schools, or was that just me? I was one of those gymnastics kids, believe it or not. And when I learned how to do a walkover, you can bet I did it every lunchtime. We also got blistered hands after being on the monkey bars too long. But we didn't care because monkey bars are flipping amazing. Actually, speaking of monkey bars, this one time before school I got winded after losing grip on the monkey bars and I kind of slid under that platform thing you stand on the other side. It hit me right in the gut and I couldn't breathe for I don't know how many minutes. So that was fun. Oh wait, I meant to be talking about how we were always safe. That never happened. I was a safe, responsible child. Also at lunchtimes we would share food with friends. There was probably some rule against it, but oh well. Some kids had the coolest lunches, like roll-ups. Those were just amazing. I never got them. Then there were those rebellious kids who had Nutella sandwiches despite the no nuts rule. We also played variations of the floor is lava. We did this one where the ground was a swamp filled with crocodiles. You're so Australian. Yeah, I know. You know how the playgrounds always had like the bark that would get stuck in your shoes? That was annoying. Okay, so in Australian schools, we had to stay outside all the time and be exposed to the cruel, harsh Australian heat. In the summer, the water bubblers were boiling hot, and sometimes kids would prank each other by turning off the little lever underneath them so that the water wouldn't flow. I may have done that once or twice. Then there was also that lovely lie that when it hits 40 degrees, you're allowed to go home. Aha! It was 43 once, and we were still stuck outside in the sweltering heat. Actually, speaking of sweltering heat, I remember in school we'd have the Anzac Day service, and students would faint every year. It was terrible. I also lived in Toowoomba for most of my primary schooling, so it got really cold in the winter. So we'd use the hand dryers to keep ourselves warm. Like we would just go underneath them, and yeah. Now let's talk about stuff that happened in class. So you know how every teacher tells you the story of how a kid died from rocking too far back on their chair and cracking their head open? If you weren't told that, did you even go to school? Oh, then there was the joy of pen licenses. I was the first in my class to earn one, naturally. My handwriting has devolved into a quick scribble of running writing, but hey, it's still legible. Then there was basically all the trauma of the beep test in PE, or the pacer test for you Americans. I don't think there's much I need to say on this one. Then there were spelling tests. I was an absolute boss at this. I would ace my tests every week. And then there were computer lessons. Computer lessons were one of my favorite parts of primary school because of mathletics. Mathletics was it was great. Like we'd all sit behind our computers and we'd get ready to start the race and we'd go 3, 2, 1, enter. And we'd hope that we would be versing our friends, even though versing isn't a real word unless you're talking about poetry. Then there was also Clippy. Do you guys remember Clippy? The little paper clip in Word that would talk to you and give you advice and stuff? He was the best, I miss him. And then there was Kids Picks, which had the most epic intro song in existence. It was this art program. What else did I do in primary school? Music lessons. Oh man, recorder. I was amazing at playing recorder, and obviously I still am. In class, we'd also play games like Wink Murder, Heads Down Thumbs Up, Sausages, Tomato Sauce, and a lot of others. I still love all these games today. I wish I could play them. Do any of you guys want to play these games with me? Please? Give your feedback in the comments below, yo. I also used to walk to school. At first I had to do it with Dad because I was too young to cross the roads by myself. But when I was 8 years old, I was allowed to go all by myself. And then when I was 10, I got the responsibility of taking my younger brother too. And I didn't kill him. We also had assemblies outside in the quadrangle, and we'd have to sing the Australian national anthem, and no one knew the second verse, so we'd just mumble it. At Christmas time, we would make Christmas decorations in class. Oh man, you should see my family's Christmas tree, because it's got mine, and then my brothers, and then my other brothers, and then my other brothers, and it's just a mess. It's a beautiful mess. Ooh, and bendy rulers. Bendy rulers was so fun, because they didn't snap. Unlike that one ruler that Juan decided to snap when he borrowed it from me. I'll never forget that one. When Smiggle opened up in my town, that was the best thing ever. Everyone had all these nice smelling rubbers and pencil cases with a million zips. On people's birthdays, you were 500% guaranteed to have at least one rubber from Smiggle given to you. It was great. Oh, and then there were sport carnivals. The only thing I was good at these sport carnivals was screaming my house war cry until I lost my voice. And yes, that actually did happen once. I also came third once for breaststroke at a swimming carnival. I have no clue how, but hey, I got a little ribbon thing somewhere in my drawers of stuff. Oh, and then there were books. I loved my librarian at my primary school. I helped her all the time to sort out all the shelves and stuff, like the typical nerd I am. We'd also get to order books from the Scholastic Book Club every year and do the Premier's Reading Challenge. And we had a story writing competition, and that was my favorite thing ever. Did you guys have that thing where girls would ask a question and then toss a rubber with yes, no, or maybe written on the sides to decide their fate? It'd be something a little bit like this. Does Timmy like me?
Heck yeah.
And then finally, there were free dress days. Now you guys who didn't have to wear uniforms are very lucky, and you should be extremely thankful for that you were actually allowed to wear jeans in winter, because we couldn't. Free dress days were basically the greatest blessing of all time for us. We get to actually wear normal clothes. Hallelujah. Anyway, keep smiling and brush your teeth. Spaghettio out. Does Timmy like me?
Oh my gosh, he's in love with me.
Yeet. Is Timmy gonna marry me? That can't be right. Come on. Come on. Yes. It was yes all along. First try.